So the next lesson I'd like to share is not maintaining the domain subscription. Now I did this myself on my very first domain after a year or so, and I've watched other people do it also. So what happened? Well, when I created my domain register account, I used a free email account. And then I created my domain email account with the domain I bought. And I checked that every day, my domain email account, but I didn't check the free email account every day or very often at all. And so the reminders to update payment information and re-register your domain are sent to, of course, your domain that you use to create your domain register account. So in my case, I wasn't checking that. I didn't realize it was my card needed to be updated apparently, and it expired. So I realized this when my domain email stopped working, and I went and checked, and lo and behold, it was expired. So fortunately, most registers have what's called a redemption period, where you can redeem your domain even though it's expired for a certain period of time, 30 to 40 days, whatever it is. So I was able to get my domain back after paying an $80 redemption fee. So it wasn't a huge mistake. But if I had been using that domain email for my business instead of my personal email, it could have been a lot worse. So you might think, well, what if it expires, I can just go buy it back, right? Well, that's usually not the case, because once a domain's been registered, it has an intrinsic value. It may have traffic coming to it or other things that make it valuable. So it just doesn't go back into the pool where you can re-register it. It usually gets auctioned off. So it's not like you can just buy it back. So that's another reason to keep tabs on your domain and make sure it stays up to date. So that was using your email that you check regularly. Now what I should have done is gone back in after I had my domain email and changed my registration email on the domain register account to the one I checked every day. So that may be something you want to do. Now, I've also noticed I've had free email accounts in the past, and I will forward them to like my Gmail account. But if you don't log into them for like a year or something like that, they will just expire. So if you are using an email account and you have it forwarded to, let's say, your Gmail, it could still expire. So that's something else to watch out for. And I've noticed a lot of people have their email through their internet service provider, and I had this back in 2004. And as I was preparing to move, that's why I created the domain email account, so I would have an email I could keep for the rest of my life, theoretically. And I have had domain email ever since then, and it's been very helpful. So if you do have email through an internet service provider, it can take quite a while to get all your accounts changed over. So what I recommend is that you have a domain email account that you're using, so you don't have to worry about if you have to move or something else happens and you can't get the same internet service provider and keep that same email with them. So those are just some quick tips, some things to watch out for to make sure your domain subscription stays valid and current. So that may be helpful.